Breaking news earlier this morning, the NBA Board of Governors has voted in favor to explore expansion to Vegas and Seattle. Put more simply, potential ownership groups can now start bidding on teams, a price point that's expected to fall between $7 and $10 billion. The process will take several months, presumably to the end of 2026, and then 23 of 30 governors must vote in favor to finalize the transaction.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. I just need to make sure everyone's on the same page here, you guys. We have never been closer to the return of the Sonics. And I don't mean the way that Bump and I and Curtis have made fun of this entire process before over the years, where, earlier this year and late last year even, we had jokes about, the NBA is going to explore creating a committee to explore talking about expansion, to explore when they should actually get to expanding the league. Like, we've joked about it, and I get it, right? It's been a carrot dangled in front of Seattle for 15 years. But this is real. Breaking news this morning. The NBA Board of Governors has voted in favor to explore expansion to Vegas and Seattle. That means that officially ownership groups, potential owners, can start bidding on those teams. So we're going to talk about what that price point is, what it means for when a team could come here, when a team could start playing, what the steps in this process look like, right? Okay, what goes on for the next couple months? Then what happens? Then what happens? Then when is there actually going to be a team here playing on a real court in a real game? We're going to talk about all of it right now. But, Bump, this news this morning was fully expected.
Yeah.
But did the news itself make it feel more real?
You know how I get down. I kind of just wait and wait for stuff to be I guess concrete, you know what I mean? But this is real.
This is real. This is
real.
concrete.
I mean, once the first bit, you hear a company or an organization attached to
sure, when you see an owner
purchasing the team, then I'm like, okay, yeah. But no, it's going to happen. It's and it's fun, man, because, when I moved out to the West Side in 2008, the Sonics left that year. So I had plans of, watching Kobe and all the other teams in the Pacific and
you were like,
the Pacific Division.
Great.
I'm like, this is going to be great, man. and they did. So selfishly, for me, I feel like a lot of people feel the way I feel is that it's just about time. Get a team back here. The city and state will support this team. You can see that through the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Reign, the Sounders. Seattle lights show up and they support. So, yeah, I'm ready for this.
Let's talk about that price tag. This was Shams Charania on with us earlier this week.
Industry executives have been saying across not only in NBA circles, but in financial circles, that you're looking at anywhere between $7 to $10 billion range. So if it reaches in that plateau, you're looking at two top 8 to 10 revenue generating markets, and the appeal of those two markets, and also the collective bargaining that the NBA is under now, it's going to lead likely to a robust purchasing price for both teams. And so it's multiple steps. The first step will then give the NBA over the next several months the ability to go and get bids. And then by the end of the year, once they have an idea of exactly what the bids are, the final voting process to approve those two teams into the 32-team NBA.
Okay. He was on with us last week, excuse me. But also, so this is what the timeline is. Over the next several months, the league can now officially hear bids for teams. And I don't think there's a shortage of billionaires who are in line to buy a sports team. So hypotheticals about what if Seattle gets a bid but Vegas doesn't, or what if Vegas gets a bid but Seattle doesn't. There's going to be billionaires out there wanting to get a sports team. That's just going to happen. We don't know exactly who they are. Here in Seattle, for instance, a front runner would be the Kraken ownership group, who just got a bigger stake in Climate Pledge. That feels like putting, one and one together.
Mm-hmm.
So this goes on for several months, and then the same percentage, 23 of 30 governors, have to vote to finalize essentially that sale, that buy, not that sale. And then that's it. And then you've got an expansion team. Like, this is the closest we have ever been. This is real. This is not, I think that exploring expansion makes it sound less real and less tangible than it is. You need to think of it as the league is officially listening to offers for a team with the intention of accepting that offer.
Yeah, man, it's been 6,470 days since the Sonics played a game here in Seattle, man.
But who's counting?
You know, it's been a while, and I think people see the value in this region in general, right? I think that there's a reason why the NBA chose Seattle and Las Vegas. All right, personal reason. All right, you jacked the team from us, but business-wise, you just see what the economy is doing here. The businesses that are here, the billionaires, millionaires that were here. I think I did the math the other day. There's like over 250,000 millionaires in this state alone. So, yeah, it's set up. It's been teed up for a while. Climate Pledge is renovated and ready to go. There's no reason why the NBA should not consider a team here. Now it's just understanding that this team is probably not going to be very good for a few seasons.
253, maybe a related note. A question for both of you guys, though. For those who quit watching the NBA when they left, says the 253, will we recognize the game now?
No, it looks different. It looks different. Doesn't mean that it's bad, but if you are a traditionalist, walk the ball up, half-court offense, set pieces, it's not going to be that. It's going to be a lot of freestyling, winning off the dribble, shooting your threes. You're going to see your pick and rolls or whatnot. It's just data has entered basketball, and data says that it's more beneficial to shoot threes than mid-range jumpers. But you get to see the athleticism. Like, guys are changing. You got a 7'5" guy who can dribble the ball, shoot it, go to the rim, probably going to get Defensive Player of the Year in Wemby. The game has changed, but if you like basketball, you'll be entertained.
Well, and there's kind of two things happening when it comes to the Sonics. One is the timeline of your own franchise and two is kind of, if you've been someone tuned out from the NBA, reintroducing yourself to it. The product that you're going to see from the Sonics is not going to be the most competitive product in the league. The league already has a problem with tanking. Expansion franchises notoriously can take a while to get going. You're starting from scratch. I mean, not literally from nothing, right? You're going to have an expansion draft, but this is going to be a couple years of bad basketball. Is anyone really upset about that, though? Like, is anyone going to look at the league and go, oh, you're not giving me a championship team year one? I'm not interested.
You know how much bad basketball I would have killed for to watch over the last 20 years?
I would have taken the last 20 years of bad basketball if it meant the Sonics were still here.
I would have loved to have a team that was winning like 18 games a year and us just ripping the GM and ripping the ownership. And those conversations are fun. We're missing out on
in
that.
an affluent market, in a top 12 or 13 media market, it is in the best interest of whoever your ownership group or your owner ends up being for this team to eventually make a lot of money by this team being competitive. So this isn't going to be one of those franchises stuck in the middle of nowhere where, owners are just interested in kind of getting people to buy tickets but not really interested in competing. There's going to be real incentive to make the Sonics a competitive franchise.
Yeah, but the Salties are going to be out there. Well, this team is bad. I don't want to watch this team. And I'm like, all right, well, it's not for you then. Just when they start winning, just come back around. I'm not going to tell you not to come around. Just come back around when they start winning. It's going to be fun, man. You got to be able to take some lumps in development. Development doesn't just happen overnight. So understand what expansion is, how the expansion draft works. You'll be able to pluck guys on the lower end of basketball teams and just develop. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes. That's kind of how, I feel about it, which is, look, it's going to be ugly for a minute, but I think all of us will absolutely take that. Speaking of being ugly for a minute, another conversation happening around expansion was the idea that there shouldn't be expansion at all, and that's not personal about Seattle. Chris Mannix joined us to talk about, it really should have been relocation. However, yesterday during Hype Train, I think the three of us also made it very clear that, as a team as a city that's had your team stolen, nothing feels right about taking someone else's team just because it means you're more competitive and the league doesn't get diluted.
Nah, I don't want that for anybody's fan base. I mean, we've already done it here, felt it here, and you see and feel the bitterness when it comes to the Sonics and how they were just taken away from this fan base. So no, I wouldn't want that for anybody. If it came down to, okay, you're going to snatch Memphis, you're going to snatch the Pelicans, I'd say no, sir. I'd wait around even longer for this team or the NBA to expand rather than jack a team.
All right.
With that.
Let's go to a little more sound here. Speaking of Chris Mannix, this is him talking about pros for expansion.
I mean, the pro is that we get the NBA in two great markets. Seattle and Las Vegas are ready to go, and I think they'll immediately become two of the better markets in the NBA. The fan base in Seattle is well established. I think we'll pick up right where they left off. And, Vegas, they haven't really missed when it comes to pro sports teams. The hockey team out there does well. The football team out there does well. I would imagine that when baseball gets out there in a smaller stadium, it's going to do pretty well. It's established itself as far more than a transitional city like in Atlanta or someplace like that. And I think they'll have good support there and they'll make a lot of money there. So you get the league into 2 top markets.
All right. So this is actually happening. This is real. Making sure everyone understands that. This is real. I am maybe, 8, 9, 10 months away from saying, hey, the Sonics are back. We're looking at the end of the year, according to Shams, I would say a well-connected guy. We're looking at the end of the year as being when this transaction could be finalized.
Yeah.
Heck, this week there was that news that the Kraken ownership purchased a majority stake in Climate Pledge Arena. It feels like it's already signed, sealed, and delivered. Like, who else is going to challenge the Kraken ownership in this? Because once they made that move, it's like any prospective buyer now kind of has to kiss the ring, so to speak, if they wanted to share an arena with the Kraken, and them just doing that is kind of like such a leverage play by their group, and it's like, this is ours. Mm-hmm. If anybody wants to come challenge us, you're more than welcome to, but everybody kind of stand back.
I also think look, I'm seeing it, and I know you guys are too, the texts from some folks on the text line who are regular listeners, thank you, but also who've fallen out of love with the NBA and maybe wouldn't have gotten there if the Sonics hadn't been taken, but are certainly there now. But everyone listening is a sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not going to take long for you to find yourself getting into it again. And you can complain all you want about the state of the league or how you don't like that it's so focused on the 3, or you just don't like the personalities or the money that's with these contracts, whatever it is. You're a sports fan. You're going to watch, and you're going to like it. And I'm not saying that in a patronizing way. I'm saying it because I'm a sports fan. Like all of it. You ever sit down and you're just watching a game of something you've never watched before, and all of a sudden you're like, I got to look at the rules because I think this isn't right here. I got to make sure that I'm following. Like, it's in your DNA.
If you're listening to this show, if you follow the Mariners, if you follow the Seahawks, the Sounders, the Reign, the Totems, the Aqua Sox, the Rainier, whoever, if you follow any type of sports in this region and you feel bad about basketball, you feel a certain way about basketball right now, I guarantee you eventually you're going to come around. You know why? Because they will be covered heavily on this station. You will see and feel it all across Seattle and regions further outside of Seattle. It'll happen. If you like sports, it'll come around. But listen, I'm not going to tell you when to come around. I'm not going to tell you how to come around. I just know that I have faith. And there's people on the text lines right now that I'm texting. I'm like, man, just bad energy, man.
What? Oh,
like,
well, but
change your energy.
But that's
it's
also
okay.
the kind of person that no matter what is going to leave. Like, all their Yelp reviews are 1-star reviews for just random restaurants. Like, they're just going to complain about anything. Like, there are people that I might genuinely engage with that are like, hey, I don't know that I love the NBA anymore. Like, I'm glad the Sonics are back, but, like, this is a very different, not only league, but it's going to be a different environment. It's going to be as accessible to me, or tickets going to be affordable. Like, that's someone that I can engage with and that I can be like, okay, those are fair questions. We're talking about a gap of like 15 to 20 years by the time this team actually starts playing. 20 years when they start playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. But I think that there's also just a negative person out there who doesn't understand the Sonics are almost back, and this is real. This is real. This is not just another, like I said, carrot being dangled. They're currently, the league, listening to buyers. You
know what's going to get them, too? Because Washington puts out hoopers. Once you get that local kid on the squad, too, you know what I mean, a kid that you watch play at Rainier or O'Day or Richland or any of these schools, man, you're going to be like, oh, that's our guy. You're gonna have even more incentive to support these guys, man. It's going to be fun, man. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you when you come along and start to feel what's going on.
Someone said, this is kind of how I think most people feel. Look, I'm not a fan currently of the NBA, but if we get someone draining 3-point shots in a Sonics jersey, I'm 100% back in. All of a sudden, it's like, yeah, that's right. Exactly. All right. So, again, that this morning, the NBA Board of Governors approved exploration of an expansion. Just think of it as they've approved the bidding process. Starting the bidding process is how I would think about it. You're going to then have to approve a transaction, like approve someone to sell a team to. That's going to happen as Sham said, presumably later this year. So maybe by the end of 2026, we're talking about, oh my God, the Sonics are a real team.
Yep.
This is a team that has been sold to a billionaire, and now they're going to start an expansion draft, and that's pretty exciting. We are going to hear from Adam Silver at his press conference coming up in our next hour around 11:30 with a lot of answers to questions that a lot of us are wondering right now. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, real
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump Stacy.
Headline number one, baseball season starts tonight with the Giants hosting the Yankees on Netflix. What's the real headline?
I don't want to hear it, Wyman and Bob. God love them. You know we love those too. But
you know where Netflix is. It's going to be right there on the loading page.
You can complain about a game being on maybe Apple TV, maybe Peacock. Netflix? Everyone has Netflix.
The easiest streaming service known to man.
The
right
most
now.
popular streaming service in the country.
You'll
the
probably have to
vast
touch
majority
two
of people.
buttons.
Yeah. Everyone has Netflix. I saw a think piece this morning that I'm not going to mention the author or outlet, but I saw a think piece already talking about the landscape of watching sports is so complicated with streaming services, which yeah, in theory, sure. But Netflix? I've been a Netflix subscriber since I was a teenager.
That's easy work. Netflix, easy work. Yeah, let's go, man. Baseball season finally here. I love how people are hesitant to put the Yankees in the mix, right? I'm looking at power rankings and stuff, and they're there. But when you listen to people talk about the Yankees, they're pretty much rolling out the same team from last year. Cole won't be back until July from Tommy John surgery. Aaron Judge, yes, back-to-back MVPs, but he's got something to prove in clutch situation. Didn't come through clutch in WBC. I like the Yankee doubt. So go ahead and start the season off Yankees with an L against the Giants.
Did anyone watch Wednesday on Netflix? It's the Addams Family spinoff starring the daughter, obviously, Wednesday.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I've watched it. And they're going to have the hand thing. The hand is going to, Matt looks so annoyed, is going to throw out the first pitch.
You know his name. He's not the hand.
It's Thing. It's Thing. Thank you.
Put some respect on it.
Thing is going to throw out the first pitch. I think it's a great choice. Great choice.
Yeah.
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number two, the men's NCAA tournament had their most watched first weekend of games ever with a peak of 19.7 million viewers on Sunday. What's the real headline?
But I thought the NCAA tourney was dying.
Who said that?
Weird.
There are a lot of people.
Again,
Really?
It's just think pieces. It's just people going, oh, there's no Cinderella stories. NIL is ruining people's investment in college sports, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we can talk all day. And Bump, I know you have, about changes you would make to transfer portal rules or whatever. The product itself is still something we all love.
Now, the tournament is always going to be great. I mean, you got Iowa beating Florida, High Point over Wisconsin, VCU over North Carolina. Their coach got fired today or yesterday. St. John's over Kansas. You got Iowa against Nebraska as a matchup. Both of these teams, Iowa's coach was a D2 coach last year, and now he's got them where they're going. Nebraska had never won NCAA tournament game. Now they're moving on. No, this is fun, man. That's why you said people were saying the tourney's dead. I'm like, what are they watching? They're watching tournaments I've been watching.
Yeah, that's the Cinderella conversations we were having about look, it may not be the tiniest mid-major program, but there's still going to be upsets. I don't know, man. I think is it just me? Did people always complain? Is that something that even in 1986, were we all just complaining about stuff still? Is that something we were doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that was a newer
nature.
thing. Just human nature as we complain about stuff. Okay, then that makes sense. Then that checks out. That's what we're doing right now.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number three, the Seattle Daily Journal of Commerce is reporting the Seahawks are planning to start a major renovation on the Virginia Mason Athletic Center starting this summer. What's the real headline?
After paying for JSN, though, it turns out the only renovation is just adding a soft serve machine. I'm on board.
For a soft serve?
For a soft serve machine. I've been trying to get Kyle, our program director, to find it in the budget to get one. Matt and I had an idea for it. Matt, tell him our idea.
I don't like that this is our idea after I was just spitballing, but we get all the newsroom people to pay for it, but sports gets it for free because we're cooler.
So it comes out of our budget. We put the soft serve machine in the sports pit, and then we charge newsroom. If they want to come in for a soft serve, they can get a day pass for let's say $10, $20. It gets you a day pass to soft serve. One per user, obviously. You can only take one at a time. Don't take it for a friend. I could be patrolling the newsroom to make sure they're not sharing soft serve.
Yeah, VMAC needs an upgrade. I mean, it's not bad, though. VMAC is beautiful. I was on the team that was first in there. I remember taking the tour when they were building it and doing all that good stuff. There's not a lot of space over there, so I'm interested to see where they are going to build. They're building up. They might go wide. But no, this is a good look. You want your facilities to be able to match up with anybody. This thing's almost 20 years old. It's time to make some renovations. And this is how you recruit, too, those free agents. You know, they look at these type of things. You don't want to be the Bengals. You don't want to be the Chiefs when it comes to that. The Chiefs can rely on the Super Bowls that they've won over the past 5 or 6 years. But no, I like this for the Hawks. You win the Super Bowl championship. You got the best receiver in the game. Go ahead and renovate.
The expansion adds about 80,000 square feet. The mock-up of what the entry is going to look like is so modern and cool. Very sleek. Lots of glass. And then obviously expanding parts of the field. Yeah, it looks awesome. I don't know. Someone said if people didn't complain, you guys wouldn't have a show, which is probably true. What's something you could complain about for free? For 4 hours, you can complain about it.
What? Traffic?
It's the oldest thing you've ever said.
I mean, Bump's got a segment coming up today.
That's true. Curtis, what about you? What's something you could complain about for free? 4 hours today, you'd be like, yeah, let me go. Our fourth segment, me complaining about this. Bump's going traffic.
Yeah, I mean, I am always observing the way people parent their kids now as a parent, where it's kind of not necessarily judging them, but
what kind of parenting do you judge?
What kind of the ones where they just let their kids run around and have no discipline for them at all.
Yeah,
it's your kid is inconveniencing me right now.
Shout out to Uville, a place that I do go, not often, but I do go.
Uville.
There's
so cool.
There's some people there that let their kids just run around because it's just people that go midday with their kids, and I think they just feel it's a playground. It's so family focused. It's just restaurants. No. Your kid's staring at me at the table. I don't know your kid. He doesn't know me.
Stop yelling, kid.
Stop yelling. You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Coming up next, the Mariners aren't just favorites to win the AL West. We'll tell you how many ESPN voters chose them to win the American League.
It's the biggest development yet since the Sonics left for OK.
Wait a minute.
You better watch your mouth, sunshine.
One step closer.
The NBA Board of Governors did vote yes to explore expansion here in Seattle.
Stay up on the very latest on the NBA's potential return to Seattle at seattlesports.com. And the conversation continues on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
We are on a magic carpet ride.
P&D Tree Service, local experts in tree removal. If you were hit hard by the storm, P&D Tree will remove trees and clean up while minimizing impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. PNDTreeservice.com.
Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Listen every morning to Brock and Salk for Need to Know, powered by Marquee Data. Marquee IQ brings all your data together into one clear view. Stop running your business on highlights. Get the full picture. Visit datathatwins.com to learn more.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
How can you grow your business from idea to industry leader? With smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated, so don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart, just complete the purchase. Hurry, this deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Jackson Hewitt will do your taxes for $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So if you're a delivery driver, /handyman, /wedding DJ, you pay only $149 or less. We're talking to you, waitress.
Check, please.
/pet sitter, /influencer. Just $149 or less. Want your refund to work as hard as you? Hurry. Don't wait. File with Jackson Hewitt today. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you are listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Getting into a back and forth with a listener about whether Uville is called the Village. Never in my life have I called it the Village, nor have I heard anyone call it that. But to me,
Called
it's
the
like
Ville.
I call it Uville. I have since I was in college. But I think sometimes people live two different realities. This listener, I bet all their friends and family call it the Village. And we're living in two different worlds right now, and our paths haven't crossed until right now.
You know what I get flack for is when I call California Cali. People tell me, they don't call it Cali. They go, yes, I'm from California. We call it
That's
Cali.
what I'm saying. Like, there are just people where you're like, what do you mean? But I've always grown up, like how people, isn't it regional here to say pop or soda? Which one?
I don't know.
I hear soda more than
One
pop.
of the, yeah, I hear soda.
I say soda, but it's like when people say it's pop. It's pop here in Washington, and you're like, what?
When I travel to, I say San Fran, and people say, they don't call it San Fran.
I love
then
that.
I go to San Francisco, and they literally call it San Fran. I'm like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
I'm going to call it Francisco.
You got to roll the R, Francisco.
The Mariners are favorites to win the AL West, which is great. We've been talking about that endlessly. We're going to talk about it tomorrow ahead of opening day, and it's because we're not going to get tired of talking about it. However, 30 of ESPN's MLB writers all voted on their favorites to win each division and win each league. They also had Cy Young favorites, but no Mariners were on that list, so we'll keep it moving and ignore that portion. Overwhelmingly, they chose Seattle to win the AL West. 25 votes went to Seattle, 3 for Houston, 1 apiece for the Rangers and A's. Cool. Like,
Somebody always got to be different.
someone's got to be different. Someone somewhere is like, I don't know if the Rangers offense gets going, and like, they finally figure it out. Oh, the Astros, until they fall off, you really can't count them out. Yordan Alvarez, he's so great. But no, overwhelmingly, 25 of 30 voted for the Seattle Mariners to win the AL West. I'll stop here before I keep it moving and tell you how many voted on Seattle to win the American League. To win the AL West, Bump, do you see this as, now it's never easy, but do you see this as maybe are you surprisingly confident? Considering for how many years the Mariners not only didn't win it, but that the Houston Astros just dominated, are you surprisingly confident that the Mariners can win the West?
Maybe a few weeks ago, I was surprisingly confident, and right now I'm just confident. And I lean on, obviously, the people who know the game better than me, right? I lean on the Buster Onlys and Schusterman, who we're going to have on our show later. I lean on these dudes, and then I go and do research like you're supposed to do. You start reading what moves are being made here, what moves aren't being made, who's coming back, what's the rotation looking like. Then I look at power rankings, like, okay, what does the national media think about this team? And going through national media, it's like ESPN has a number 2, Ringer number 2, Baseball America number 3, USA Today, and this is like in the AL, right? They're saying this is the second, in the bigs in general. Most rankings have the Seahawks, the Mariners, the second or third ranked team. One has them tied number 2 with the Yankees. Got to give that Yankee love, I guess. It starts with, okay, can they repeat this? I have these battles with myself. Then it goes to, all right, who do I respect in the baseball world, who knows more than me and can give me their opinion? I talk to them, take all that information in. Then we come on the show, listen to these guys, then you go and read. So it's been like a steady rise of confidence with these guys. I've had confidence in them, but it's always that voice in the back of your head, was that real? Can they do it again? Cal's not going to get 60. How's that going to affect the team? Is Julio going to start quick? Is Donovan going to be that guy? Cole Young just murdered a ball the other day. They're like, 450-something feet?
I think he hit it approximately 892 feet.
Oh, quick side note. You know what I came across the other day?
What?
Home run derby. I forget what year it was. 90-something when Sammy Sosa was hitting baseballs, 520-something yards. The steroid era was great to watch. I mean, feet, sorry.
No, yards. Yards checks out for Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, it pretty much was yards. The steroid era was awesome. I loved it. Anyway, back to what's going on here. I was amazed watching Sammy just crush the ball. But no, it's leaning on voices that you respect. It's going off of the moves that were made. Obviously, health is going to be an issue. It's a long season, so I'm not really tripping on JP.
Yeah.
I'm not really tripping on Bryce. I'm going through his thing. So, no, I am about 2 times more confident today than I was a couple weeks ago.
Someone says that Bay Area locals call it Frisco.
Frisco, yeah.
And someone else let me know they call it SF. And I know that's only 2 letters, but does SF not feel more elaborate than saying San Fran?
More elaborate?
SF. That's just tougher.
Wow.
Curtis, remind me, was there a point last season when I know the Astros in Seattle obviously were neck and neck for a good portion of the season because that series was basically for the division. But was there a point when the three teams were vying back and forth and the odds were like, we all knew that like the AL West would be one of the last divisions to be settled, right?
Yeah, the Rangers got really cold at one point,
but
where they dropped like 8 or 9 in a row.
Yeah.
And then the Astros and Mariners entered that series tied.
That's right.
In Houston, and then the Mariners swept them, and then it was like, okay, it's over now.
Okay,
don't have to worry about them.
My encyclopedia friend. So now that I've revisited that, I think what I'm struck by with this vote, right? 30 MLB writers. We're talking people who really, really know baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The overwhelming confidence in Seattle strikes me, considering that just last season, the Mariners might have been a sexy pick to win the West, but were not an overwhelming favorite. People knew that the Astros would be taking a step back, but it had been their division for so long, and you had so much faith in so many pieces on that team. I don't know. I think that was just, I was struck by that, and I was thinking, like, it's been a while since we've seen a division for Seattle, because we're no longer like it's wide open, as in like it could be yours, you could beat these teams.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, you're heavily favored to win it.
Yeah, and it's because of the development, right? Julio getting better, Cal developing, Logan. I mean, if you look at the core guys, right? Even like JP, obviously he's not what he was a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, but he's still a guy who's been here for a while. And it's about developing that core, right? Obviously, it starts and ends with that rotation, but now it's getting guys around them that can support. So it's been the homegrown guys, the acquisition that you made. Like Josh Naylor feels like he's been here for like 5 years already. My man's been here for half a season, 50-something games at that. So I think, once again, you have to applaud the guys upstairs. They got this one right. What jacked them up was being ahead of schedule a few years back, and then having that dip. But they had a philosophy that's worked for them, and now they are reaping all the benefits, man. And it's got to be rewarding for those guys, and it's been rewarding for us. I still want to see and need to see them come out and just not look so slow.
I hear you.
Please, I'm begging you.
All right, so who did those 30 voters choose to win the American League and to win the World Series? Let's take a listen to one of the voters, Tim Kirkjian. He was on with us last week.
I got asked the other day, like, who's the second best team in baseball? Obviously, people think the Dodgers are the best, and I do too. But I think the Mariners are in that conversation for being right now the second best team in baseball. Now, they're going to have to go out and prove it for 162 games. But this team almost went to the World Series last year. It upgraded in the offseason, and if they can keep the rotation healthy for a full season, this is a really good team.
Tim Kirkjian saying the Mariners are very much in the conversation of being the second best team in baseball, second best to the Dodgers. And that is reflected in these votes. Tim is not the only voter, but he is one of the 30. They choose the Seattle Mariners to win the American League. 15 votes going to Seattle. By far the largest margin. Next closest is the Red Sox with 6. However, Dodgers still a favorite to win the World Series, a heavy favorite, with the Mariners as the next team receiving votes.
Sounds about right. Unfamiliar territory for Mariners fans, Seattle fans, but let's get used to this, right? Hopefully we can get used to this. Hopefully this isn't just a 1.5, 2 year thing, but this is actually who you are. And the same way I look at the Mariners, the same way I look at the Seahawks, it's like, okay, you did it 1 year, granted Seahawks ultimately, Super Bowl, whatnot. Now make this a part of who you are. Like, this is who this organization is. That's the hardest thing to do, is kind of change the way that you're perceived.
Yeah.
And the Mariners are really close to doing that.
And you have to follow it up with a performance too, right? Like, to have a championship mentality, you have to get close to and win championships. So, and that breeds success, and it breeds confidence in the postseason. Like, I am sure that, knock on wood, when and if the Mariners make the postseason this year, we're going to be talking about how valuable last year's experience was, just like we were last year about 2022. So, a conversation that will continue for months and months and months. Coming up next, you're listening to Bump Stacy on Seattle Sports. Bump's got 3 things grind in his gears with Get Off My Lawn.
Sure, it snowed like less than 2 weeks ago, but you could eat peanuts, Cracker Jacks, even fish and chips out of a souvenir ferry boat in any weather. Tomorrow, It's opening day for the Mariners.
Here at T-Mobile Park.
We're live from Soto all day with Bump and Stacy starting at 10. Then it's Wyman and Bob live from Hatback Bar and Grill starting at 2. Ahead of the Mariners and Guardians at 7:10. Listen wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would rather get my teeth drilled than go to a car dealership. But good news, that changed because of Wayscar Ford in Auburn. The first time I went out there, I was nervous. Just being at a car dealership brings pressure, for me at least. I feel like I'm going to get ripped off or pressure to make a decision that day that I'm just not ready for. But instead, I felt immediately comfortable because there's absolutely no pressure at Wayscar Ford, period. And they back it up with a 5-day or 500-mile, 100% no questions asked money-back guarantee. Wayscar Ford is only going to sell you a car if you want to buy one. So if you want a low-pressure experience, Wayscar Ford in Auburn is where you need to go. By the way, they don't just have Fords. They have everything. Take it from me, or check out their reviews. They have thousands of 5-star reviews. You can buy with confidence. Wayscar Ford has been family-owned and operated in downtown Auburn for over 103 years. And trust me, you don't stay in business that long by not taking care of people. See it for yourself at Wayscar Ford in Auburn. That's wayscarford.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Visit America's Car Museum now, where history roars to life. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see Shelby Cobras and GT40s in the birth of the American supercar. Cruise-ins, drive-ins, race simulators, fun for all ages. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org.
At Pacific Power Batteries, we know that 3 out of 10 people are pretty good with math. The other 8 people, not so good. That's why we're here to help you select a battery with the best value of dollars per cold cranking amp, per minute reserve capacity, or per amp hour. We speak battery and often use a calculator. So come visit us at Pacific Power Batteries, where, with a 12-volt battery, we'll throw in the extra 0.6 of a volt for no extra charge.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
The Mariners host the Guardians on opening day at T-Mobile Park tomorrow night.
First pitch at 7:10.
Right here on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we welcome back as a regular contributor Yahoo Sports' Jordan Schusterman. He joined us every single Wednesday during last baseball season. It was so much fun. We're so excited to have him back. Our first interview with him coming up in 15. Right now, though, Bump, in your old age,
40 watt.
You
40
have
water.
found that things just drive you crazy.
You do.
You know,
Don't
you
drive
just
me crazy. Just get me frustrated.
You get you frustrated, and you
Yeah.
just kind of like, you're using this space. This is a safe space, by the way, to kind of get it off your chest.
Yeah.
And just say, look, these are the things that make me want to shout, get off my lawn.
Mm-hmm.
What you got today?
I'm a man.
Yep.
I'm 40.
All right, first one. We got some travel stuff, man. I live obviously in the Northwest. My family's from California, Mississippi, Michigan, Tennessee. Like, I got some folks out there, right? And they always want to come up and visit. Not a lot of people have visited Seattle before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just haven't been here. It's far away from everything. So they want to come up. I'm like, cool, come up anytime you want, man. But this is when I work. This is my schedule. Like, take that into consideration. They didn't do that. They didn't take that into consideration, okay? My advice, if you are being picked up at the airport by someone in Seattle, wherever you're going, take their schedule into consideration. You don't just plan whenever you want to plan and force them to move their life around because you're on vacation, right? I got to work. I take kids to practice. I got to wake up early. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning. I got to go to the gym. I got to work out. This family member.
Okay, now hang on. Is this family member listening?
Possibly.
I can't co-sign.
It's all love. This family member, love you,
I can't.
is landing at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. They are landing. And you know what? I'm going to go get them. I was frustrated when I got the call saying I'm landing at 10. I'm like, but I'll wake up at 5. I'm not going to get home till like 12. And then my turnaround is going to be quick. But I love you. So I'm just going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I had to let them know the frustration. Like, listen, did you not consider my life and what I do?
No.
And my responsibilities? I know you're on vacation, but let's coordinate next time. Let's meet in the middle. Maybe at 8 o'clock land.
But sometimes there are family members where it's like, maybe for a second cousin, I won't be doing that. But then there are other family members higher up on the hierarchy.
Obviously, I'm going to do it. I didn't say no. But I'm just saying, when you travel, consider other people's schedules, their sleep habits. I know you're on vacation, but I'm not.
You're getting a text in 3 minutes.
Let's make this work.
Okay.
Let's make this work. Love you, though. I will be there to pick you up at 10 o'clock.
What's next?
I'm a man.
I was convinced you were going to talk about first class.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. I won't be on first class for a while now. Football season's over. I've been bowling a lot lately. Bowling.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I've been bowling.
You haven't talked to us about it.
I know, like Saturdays, I just be like, hey, let me go get a
friend. Bowling?
Yeah, I be bowling, man. So growing up, me and my brother Elmer used to go bowling in the summertime almost every day because his mom used to work at a bowling alley. My kids like to go bowling, and it's a vibe. You can eat and still drink.
Why
and
haven't
bowl.
you talked to us about this?
It's not hard on your body. It's nice. You know what I mean? But listen, man, there's some bowling etiquette out there. Y'all got to learn this dang bowling etiquette. Okay, 1, adults. I don't care how bad you are in bowling. If you are over the age of 21, you better not be putting no bumpers on the side
Not
of the
the
alleys.
bumpers.
You better not be putting no bumpers out. That's what's wrong with our country, except failure. If you cannot bowl a straight line, you can't hit none of those pins, you need to come back and practice a bit more.
What's wrong
Bumpers
with our
are
country?
embarrassing for adults. Accept the failure. Get better. Work on your game. It's embarrassing.
Oh, no.
Grown people using bumpers. Also, all right, if you're bowling, obviously there's like 20-something lanes. If the person next to you is up first, have the ball in their hand, let them bowl. You don't go at the same time.
Lesser known etiquette.
Yeah, you don't go at the same time. It's a distraction. Let them go. Man, if they want to let you go, then you go. But going at the same time, the etiquette is all jacked up. All right, and last one.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Well, I'm still on bowling. I'm sorry. I set you up. Last one for bowling. Sorry, Matthew. Last one for bowling is use the same ball every time. I see people picking up, I got a 12-pound ball. Now I got a 10-pound ball. Now I got an 8-pound ball. There's no consistency. How does that make sense to you? You're picking up balls that are different weight. How are you going to be consistent? It's simple stuff. I don't understand that.
I think my favorite thing about you is that when you get into something new, you immediately are like, these are the rules.
These are the rules. Etiquette. All right, grown people using bumpers, embarrassing, okay? Don't bowl at the same time and use the same dang ball, man. Come on, what are we doing? All right, Matthew, I'm ready now.
Okay.
You sure this time?
I'm positive.
Okay, now we're on to the last one.
I'm 40.
Last one. Look at me, Stacy. Stop carding me when I go to the dang bar, okay? When I ask for a drink. Look at me. I got grays in my beard. I'm clearly over 21. Why are you carding me? And I'm looking at people like, I know it's your job, but like for real though, like you know I'm of age. This is not a costume. This is real life. I'll take my hat off. You see the bald head. Stop carding me. I go to places and I've been there a few times. Can I see your ID? For real? Jessica? I just saw you last week, Jessica. You know it's me. Goodness gracious, got all these grades, but I earned these grades, okay? These grades should allow me to not be carded anywhere I go. The only place I want to show my ID is if I'm traveling and got to go through TSA or clear or whatever the heck I'm doing, all right? Or if I got to go to a hotel and check in, here's my ID, all right? But I'm going to these local spots, and y'all know me. We know each other. I've been here a few times. Stop carding me. It's a pain in the butt.
I have two real follow-up questions. Actually, I have three. Number one, does anyone who cards anyone at their job, is this a rule that you have to do no matter what, even if someone's like visibly older?
I'm sure it is.
Okay. I'm curious.
Not if you're a local, though.
Like you're like a regular where you're like, I didn't get younger.
Yes,
since
I'm in
you saw
here.
me.
Come on
Okay,
now.
the second thing is there any chance that sometimes people card and they try to make it a compliment?
I don't want that compliment. I don't need that.
Okay.
I don't need that.
And thirdly, do you also hate it because it feels like we're doing this dumb performative dance?
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. You know, I'm here to bowl. I just got whiskey like 4 days ago. We talked about this whole situation. We had like a conversation, like a real conversation, several times. Yeah, I come in. Can I see your ID? And I hate when they say, "Can I peek at it?" Can I peek at your ID?
Can I peek at you?
Can I peek at your
that's
ID?
a good
Nah,
one.
just say, "Can I see your ID?" Can I peek at it real
I'm
quick?
just going to scooch on by you.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Just going to scooch on. Can I just take a peek?
We actually acquired Audio Bumps Bowling League, and it's here it is.
Yes.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am.
Exactly.
It's crazy how we had you mic'd up for
That's
that.
me winning that league. It was
That's
a very
really
emotional
exciting.
day. Very
Someone
emotional
actually
day.
said, proper bowling etiquette is that the person to the right rolls first unless the bowler on the left lane is towing the mark.
There you go. Just take turns. That's all I'm saying. Don't distract. It's like talking to someone's backswing on a golf course. Shut your face.
We're going to walk away now. Yahoo Sports' Jordan Schusterman joining us next.
It's the biggest development yet since the Sonics left for OK.
Wait a minute.
You better watch your mouth, sunshine.
One step closer.
The NBA Board of Governors did vote yes to explore expansion here in Seattle.
Stay up on the very latest on the NBA's potential return to Seattle at seattlesports.com. And the conversation continues on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
We are on a magic carpet ride.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The countdown is on.
Just one more day until opening day tomorrow night against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park. First pitch at 7:10
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners. KIRO AM Seattle. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The NBA Board of Governors has voted in favor to explore expansion to Vegas and Seattle. Put more simply, potential ownership groups can now start bidding on teams, a price point that's expected to fall between $7 and $10 billion. The process will take several months, presumably to the end of 2026, and then 23 of 30 governors must vote in favor to finalize the transaction.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. You made me fight with this relative, Bump.
Oh, my gosh.
You know I have to choose sides now.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Nah, you good.
Unfortunately for you, you know whose side I'm choosing. We are getting you ready for opening day by bringing back Jordan Schusterman. Yahoo Sports' Jordan Schusterman was a regular guest with us last year. We're so excited to bring him back on. He'll join us in just a couple minutes here, but we had questions all year long about this team, and for as excited as we were at the end of the season, I think people are even more excited entering this season, because I don't know that we were starting last season. Like, Rowdy Tellez was your starting first baseman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, really cool team. It ended up being a fun year. We all thought, like, okay, the expectation is you do have to get to the playoffs. Like, that should be the expectation. I wasn't entering last year thinking the expectation is you get to a World Series.
No. I'm trying to figure out when I started to really believe that this team was capable of making a run. I don't think like World Series was really a thing until maybe you got into the playoffs and then you see where they're playing and all that stuff. But I want to say like late July, early August when I was like, okay, they really have a chance. I'm really buying it now.
I think it took like maybe that Astros series where I was like, oh, this is for real. Like, they're taking over now. Yeah. And not only did that, push them ahead and cement a nice lead, but I think it just felt like a shift. I'd been so used to, for so long, the Astros just absolutely dominating. And what feels cool about this Mariners team, you've heard the quote before from Brian Wu. Cal mentioned that Brian Wu said it, and then Cal's voice is the one that's playing on a promo saying it. But it's no longer just, oh, good for the Mariners, how fun.
Yeah.
No, that's not. The expectation isn't you give them a good story. The expectation is that, yeah, it would be a cool story, but that you win the American League, that you represent the American League in the World Series. That's the only way to improve from last year. The only way to improve from last year is to actually get to the World Series, which was both heartbreaking last year, but also an amazing way to start this season. Yahoo Sports' Jordan Schusterman joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Jordan, how's it going?
Hello, friends. It is so good to be back. Baseball is, they're doing it. They're playing real games that count. How about that?
Yeah, games that matter for several months here. We're all very excited. You guys on Baseball Barbiecast recently went through and did some of your expected wins and losses for a couple of these teams. Where did you have the Mariners?
Ooh, so for the over-under, I think, what did I give them? I think the BetMGM line that I saw was like 89.5. I believe I went over for them. I did pick them to win the division. And I think that, this is, as many smart people have written, biased, unbiased, everything in between. This is about as talented of a roster as we've seen them go into the season with in quite some time. And while I think there are still some questions about the depth in certain parts of the roster, the upside here is undeniable, even if you do kind of factor in for some regression in terms of how many home runs the catcher is going to hit.
Spring ball is just so weird for me to watch, man, because it's like, all right, don't get too excited. That pitcher's probably going to be in Wichita somewhere. We always say Wichita. And it's like, all right, well, if they're not having success, don't worry about it. They're just ramping up. And then I see Cole Young just mash 450. And I'm like, well, I want to be excited about that. What have you seen out of Cole Young?
That is a great example. I think zooming in on Cole Young and appreciating that is probably a good strategy for assessing Seattle Mariners spring training baseball, which seems to have included a lot of other not so awesome stuff. As I'll be honest, I don't watch spring training because it's kind of for the reason that you just described. You're just asking to be fooled. You're asking to be too hopeful or too despondent over what is going on in games where the purpose is talk about not, intended to win, but even the things that pitchers are working on and the way that the game is managed is it's a practice. It's a practice with a scoreboard. And so that can certainly be misleading. As for Cole Young, though, I think what you saw from him was a more confident, a more physical, really on both sides of the ball, that I think at the end of last season, he was just kind of worn down and really just kind of ran out of gas. I think, again, like defensively and offensively. And this year, I just feel like he came in with the understanding that was his spot on the roster guaranteed? Maybe not necessarily, with, Cole Emerson really pushing and Brendan Donovan now in the mix. I think he went out and showed as he showed for about 6 weeks in July and August last year, I am ready to be a useful, if not even above average major league player, which we did see him for spurts last year. So for someone who's going to be hitting at the bottom of this lineup, I think Cole Young absolutely can be considered an X factor. And what he was doing in spring, even if you take it with as many grains of salt as you possibly can, I think there is reason to be excited with him.
Tim Kirkjian, on with us last week, said that there's a case to be made that the Mariners could be the second best team in baseball. The case to be made means that there's a couple teams from the American League that you could look at as being behind the Dodgers, right? Like, that's really what we're talking about. When you look at the teams that we're examining there, we're going to see the Yankees open up the season tonight. The Red Sox, though, are also being favored to take that division from them. Obviously, Seattle favored to win the West. What are kind of the trio or the four teams you're looking at in the American League that you think will be vying for that spot?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say that, by the way, I normally do our power rankings for Yahoo, but my pal Jake Mintz took care of him going into the season, and I believe he had the Mariners second.
You go, Jake.
So that is a conclusion that he ended up at. Now, again, whether that proves to be a accurate portrayal or not, I think the Yankees are a part of that conversation. I think the AL East is just loaded. I think Baltimore is going to be a lot better. And hey, let's not forget about Toronto. I mean, Toronto had a pretty good season last year. And the thing I keep giving them credit for is not just what happened in October, but even over the course of the regular season, them finishing tied with the most wins in the league was not an accident. They were as consistent as really any team in the AL last year. And that includes teams like Seattle and New York, who at their best, looked like they had a case as the best team in the American League, but also had some really, really ugly skids. We saw that from Seattle. We saw that from the Yankees. We saw that from teams like Boston, and certainly the teams in the Central in Detroit and Cleveland, who both had prolonged stretches of looking very, very, very bad. So I'm picking Boston in the American League East. I just like the upside there. I really like their depth on both sides of the ball, which I think is maybe lacking with some of these other teams, certainly Toronto. The Yankees, they got some good pieces. So I think the AL East is going to be Yankees and Red Sox. Blue Jays are going to be in the mix. The Orioles are going to be better. And then we'll see what happens with the Central teams. They kind of have to prove that they can hang with those other clubs. And then is there going to be another team in the West that really pushes Seattle? I think you don't want to completely push the Astros to the side. I'm sure the Rangers expect to be much better than they were last year. Are the A's an actual upstart team that can be taken seriously, or are they still a year or two away? All of those are valid questions, but the Mariners are I think, have established themselves in the American League as a team with not only one of the highest ceilings, but also one of the highest floors.
Yeah.
Jordan, some listeners are going to rip me up for asking this question, but it's the first time I've had you on, so I'm going to ask it. It's old news. I don't care. It's old news. Kyle and Randy, what'd you make of that?
Oh, man. It's funny when this all went down, and I was covering WBC, focused on WBC. I did not cover them in person until the semifinals. So I didn't see Team USA until the very end there. So I was not around the team or really talking to folks in the mix when that was happening. And I was not at Mariners camp when that was happening. My read on that situation, while I don't think it is something that is going to remain relevant, and I know that they have made it a point to squash the beef publicly, certainly Randy with multiple statements. I think that Cal's decision, or the way that Cal handled it in the moment, I think was maybe a reflection of just how something that we talked about on our podcast the whole time, the degree to which Team USA was treating the whole situation, which was perhaps overly serious. Whereas you saw a lot of the other teams, it's not that they didn't want to win. Of course, all these other teams were showing how passionate they were about winning, while also kind of exhibiting a level of camaraderie within the competition, as opposed to Team USA, who I think played it as much more. And it wasn't, I'm not talking about how they were celebrating home runs compared to the DR, like in terms of how they were treating the opponent, how much they were treating it like, in a lot of respects, combat, in a way that I personally did not particularly appreciate. Mm-hmm. And I think in the case of Cal Raleigh, I think he probably, particularly earlier in the tournament, maybe got swept up in that and was on a team and looked at the situation and felt, this is how I'm supposed to be treating the opponent, is to, play it as this is my team, you're on the other side, we're trying to beat you, and treating it like that. And someone like Randy and a lot of other players in this tournament who clearly were like, no, we're all having a good time. We're all trying to win, but we're also here celebrating the love for the sport, the love for the competition, the love for this tournament. And I think that's how he ended up on the wrong side of that situation. As for, do I think it matters whatsoever in this season? No, I don't.
This is not my question, but I also think we talked about it, that Mark DeRosa could have squashed so much of that tension by coming out and saying, so we actually have it as a team rule. Like, it's I probably put him in a tough spot with that one. Instead, he gets on his back heels and says, he could have dapped him up if he wanted to. Like, Mark, bro. It's not what a skip does, man. You kind of fall on the sword for your player. I digress. My question is about Cal, though. I feel like it's become kind of a hot take to just say, of course Cal's going to regress, when that's just kind of stating, statistically what's likely. And I think it is more interesting to talk about the kind of player that you think Cal is now, because I think that you can regress from 60 home runs, but I also don't see Cal being only like a 30 home run hitter. It certainly feels like that improvement from both sides had to be real, because 60 doesn't happen on accident. So what version of Cal, in what ways has he become more complete as a hitter, and what do you expect from him this year?
I'm glad you bring that up, because when that season is unfolding, you just kind of get swept up in it and big dumper. And he's just like this figure where it's just like, oh my God, he's having this magical season. And we didn't often stop to think, okay, but why is this happening? It's not, the balls are not just suddenly going over the fence. What has he actually improved to allow this to happen? Which I think you're hinting at. And I definitely hit on it when I would come on last season. Mm-hmm. But yes, you hit it right there. His improvement from the right side was the whole thing. He was not a good hitter from the right side for the first 4 years of his career. 2024, you started to see a little bit more power, but on the whole, this was not someone who was dangerous from the right side. Not only did he become dangerous, not only did he become good from the right side, he became one of the best hitters in baseball from the right side. And so suddenly his whole potential is to just how the matchups that he would now have and the opportunities to produce big numbers, no matter who he was facing, just skyrocketed exponentially. Now, that didn't mean, even if you told me that was going to happen, I still would not have expected 60 home runs, but that is what needed to happen for him to get to 40 and then maybe even 50, which even that would have seemed unfathomable. But that was really what is going to unlock it if you are going to be a switch hitter that is that impactful from both sides. But the other thing I want to bring up with Cal, because I think your point about him as a hitter, you should still expect big things from him because of what he's now able to do from the right side of the plate. I think in terms of overall value, the thing to really watch for Cal this season is what he's able to do on defense, because that is part of his game that undeniably did regress last season from the platinum glove level that he showed in 2024. He was not a bad catcher by any means. I think he was still quite good and still a very important part of the run prevention puzzle that the Mariners are constantly trying to solve. That said, I am confident, having heard Cal amidst that playoff run last year when he wasn't even named, a finalist for the Gold Glove, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, he didn't win it. he was like, yeah, like we're going to get in there and we're going to figure that out. So it would not surprise me whatsoever if that becomes more of a focus. And if you're a good defensive catcher, your overall value is just going to go up even higher in terms of the WAR totals and whatnot. And so let's say he regresses to 45 home runs. If that catcher defense gets back to the level that it was the year before, he might have a higher WAR than last season. I mean, it sounds absurd, but it is not completely impossible if he's able to kind of marry those two elite skills together. We've seen him be one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. We've seen him be one of the best offensive catchers in the history of the sport. If he can do something close to those things at the same time, we're still talking about a 6 or 7 or 8 win player, and that's not a small thing.
Mentioned what Cal needs to improve on. Number 44 is still the guy over here. Cal is 2, but you got to look at 44. What would you like to see improved from Julio Rodriguez?
Yeah, and that's the big one that I think I know Jake has talked about, written about. When you are talking about the Cal regression incoming, that can also be offset by Julio putting together a complete season. And I think what's hard with him is that even as we've seen him get scorching hot in the second half, the kind of shape of the production, how he is getting there, isn't really changing. He's still someone that is ultra aggressive. He's swinging a lot. And while the strikeout totals aren't necessarily that high, his aggression out of the zone is still resulting in a lot of weak contact that is keeping his overall output low and leaves him susceptible to some obvious cold streaks, which we certainly see early on in the season. That said, we're still talking about one of the most talented players in the world. We're talking about one of the best defensive center fielders in the world. And so the floor is still tremendously high. But no, as we've said, each of the last 4 seasons, or certainly each of the last 2 or 3 seasons, now that we've kind of seen this trend pick up, if he can even be average, put up a 110 WRC plus for the first half and then explode again in the second half, let alone if he can actually put it together and really have that power production be there for the entire season and really reach another level from an on-base standpoint, right? That's the thing that we've kind of seen regress since he's been in the major leagues. His walk rate has just been stuck right at 6%. And so even though the strikeouts are not necessarily getting worse, him finding his way on base more consistently at the top of the order, I think would go a long way. Or I guess in this case, probably still in the middle of the order. I know he's going to be trying to do damage. And now we're going to have Brendan Donovan and Cal Raleigh likely hitting ahead of him. But still, I think on base is still going to be something that they're going to want to see more of from him. And that's where we just have not seen the strides. He's still an amazing player. That is the next level, how you go from MVP fringe contender to MVP finalist or someone that can actually win the award.
Jordan Schusterman covers the league for Yahoo Sports. He's going to join us every single Wednesday at 11 during the season and fingers crossed into the postseason for this team. He will be back on with us next Wednesday. Until then, we'll have a week of games to react to. You can also catch more from Jordan on Baseball BarbieCast. A great listen, rate, review, subscribe, and of course, read his work at Yahoo Sports. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Talk soon. Good to be back, guys.
Bye. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory. Going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael
This
Bump
first down. You love Joe Flacco, but you also think he's delusional.
He's
Why?
delusional as heck.
What?
He just signed with
Leave
the
that man alone.
Bengals again.
Yeah.
You know why he said?
Lou guy?
Unfinished business. What are you talking about? Unfinished business. You won a Super Bowl.
He said, I need a check.
You've been in the game 18 years. You're a janky Pro Bowler in 2025.
I got a car to pay off.
Like you've already, what unfinished business? What are you talking about?
Super Bowl bump.
You just sit back and support Joe Burrow to be, hey, I just want to be here. I love the organization. I want to support Joe Burrow. That's the answer. You've done everything, Joe. And you've done it for a very long time in this league. I don't know what the heck you're talking about, but whatever gets you going in the morning, you go ahead and use it as motivation.
I love that answer. Unfinished
business.
Not even just like, yeah, I love this game. I love my role as a mentor now. It's cool. Like,
no.
Unfinished business. Second down. There's a rumor out there linked to the Seahawks, and you like it. What should we know?
So, Love is projected, a running back from Notre Dame, is projected to go to the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
If they do pick up Love, I'm hearing that Tony Pollard might be released. I would love to kick the tires on Tony Pollard. 4 years in a row, he's gone for over 1,000 yards, and I think he'd be a good complementary type of back. Last year, he also had 33 receptions. The year before that, he had 41 receptions. He's been productive. It looks like He'll only go for about $5 to $6 million. We'll see if the Hawks value him there. I know they're still looking at the draft. I know you already have 3 running backs over here, but I would consider Tony Pollard, man. I think he's a solid number 2 running back. You sprinkle him in when you need him. He's 28 years of age, so he's a little long in the tooth at the running back spot, so that's why you have that 1-2 combo. Tony Pollard is an elusive type of bag, not an every down type of bag. I think his skill set would go perfect with what's already here and maybe with who they draft as well.
3rd down. What's a name you're glad to see back?
It's a name no one's really going to talk about either, man. Made some plays for the Hawks and then was released to get back into the practice squad, and then the Panthers picked him up. Now the Hawks have signed him, D'Anthony Bell. I'm glad he's back at that safety spot. He came in and had himself a decent couple of games. He started 2 games. It ended up like 15 tackles, 1 TFL, a couple passes, broke it up. He knows the system. This is the type of guy that you bring in camp, and you see if you can push somebody out. Are you going to push Ty Okada? Are you going to push Rodney Thomas? I like this pick. He's a special teams guy. So, yeah, this just shows you that the Hawks have some value to him or value him because they tried to get him on the practice squad. Panthers picked him up. As soon as they could get him, they brought him right back here. This tells me, just with the movement, that he's a Mike McDonald type of guy. We've seen him make plays. These are, again, the signings that people don't really talk about or hear about.
4th down. Ooh, you're going to be in trouble if it's not Mike McDonald. Who's your coach of the year favorite in 2026?
I think Mike McDonald's going to have to just chill for a year, honestly.
Yeah, you can't. How do you improve on winning a Super Bowl? Win another one, I guess.
10 new coaches. They got Harbaugh with the Giants, Saleh with the Titans, Kubiak with the Raiders, Joe Brady with the Bills, Stefanski with the Falcons, McCarthy with the Steelers, Mentor with the Ravens, Munkin with the Browns, Hoffley with the Dolphins, and LaFleur with the Cardinals. It's not even that hard, Stacey.
What?
It's going to be John Harbaugh.
Oh,
It's going to be John Harbaugh.
Yep.
He's going to flip that over there, change that culture. You got yourself a wide receiver over there. You have yourself a QB, potentially a running back. I'm hearing the Giants might try to move up and grab a running back in this draft. I think Harbaugh just brings so much experience and structure to a team that I think is already pretty talented. Defensively as well, too. They got some guys over there. I like what he's doing. My close second is I think Saleh is going to do some things with the Titans, man. I think that if they're able to go and get love at that running back spot, support their quarterback, he's a defensive guy. They got a couple pieces over there with Simmons already. That could be a spot, too. I got to go with the Giants and John Harbaugh, but I think Saleh, man, I'm hoping, because I like Saleh, I think he might change the game.
If you had to isolate the 2 most important ingredients to winning Coach of the Year, what 2 things do you think factor most into voter decisions?
Well, you got to bring a team up from the ashes.
Okay, turnaround.
Right? Your quarterback play has to be on point. Like, especially a young guy. If you can get a young quarterback to play, not even like a Pro Bowl level, just a higher level, I think that's going to do some things as well. And then you got to get around 9 to 10 games in the win column. If you can do that, be competitive in your division, you have yourself a chance that I think that, even though it didn't end well in Baltimore for Harbaugh, he knows what it looks like.
Okay, if I had to isolate it, I'm looking at the same thing. Like, you have to have some kind of turnaround. If the Seahawks had exactly their same season but won, let's say, 7 games instead of 10 in 2024, I think Coach of the Year. But winning 10 before, even though it was with a different-looking team, I think counted against Mike McDonald. So, yeah, you have to have a turnaround.
Sure.
Vrabel won it for a reason. And 2, what matters more? Doing it despite upsets or maybe the final product? I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about this another time. We got to get back to the NBA. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is scheduled to speak to reporters next.
Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly.
Signed.
JSN is out there.
Sealed.
JSN has it. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Delivered.
Jackson Smith-Njigba signs a massive extension, 4 years, $168 million.
The NFL's highest paid wide receiver ever.
How about that?
Complete coverage at seattlesports.com.
Sam Darnold wouldn't have the season that he had if he didn't have JSN over there.
And the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber the Door Store. Something that happens here most every day are customers and contractors looking to purchase doors they can take today. Frank Lumber has a good selection of pre-hung display doors that are ready to go. And if we don't have what you need today, whether it be style or size, and you find a door in stock, we can still get you taken care of quickly. Come visit our showroom and bargain barn in Shoreline. Also, be sure to check us out online at franklumber.com.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and have to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated, so don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert, or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart, just complete the purchase. Hurry, this deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
At quarterback, calling the right play could change the whole game. And when your car breaks down, same idea. Make the right call before the big repair bill hits. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. Plans include 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, and rental car options, all to keep your drive alive. Look, breakdowns happen, but choosing CarShield, that's the easiest call you'll make all day.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We've got 2 important press conferences coming up today. Coming up at noon-ish, sometime in the beginning of the noon hour, JSN scheduled to speak to reporters after signing that massive record-breaking contract. And coming up any minute now, Matt, with his eyes on the podium, set to interrupt me. It'll sound like this.
Stacey, there's an alien on the screen. Stop everything.
Okay, and that's if Adam Silver is stepping up to the podium to talk about that vote this morning. What vote? If you didn't hear it, because you've been living under a rock. The Board of Governors has voted to approve exploration of expansion. What that means is that the league can now officially start listening to bidding from potential team owners. That's real. This isn't just like, oh, we're going to think about expanding. No, this is the purchasing process.
Yeah, you got to see who got the money for that.
Who got money like that?
Who got the paper?
Who has money like
what
that?
What group has the paper for that? Yeah, it's going to happen now. I mean, you see the value in owning any type of franchise in this country, man. The numbers have been going up crazy when it's time for or when people decide to sell teams or whatnot. It's a great investment. This is a city who can support a basketball team, who wants their basketball team. Even if you say you don't,
You're
I
lying.
know deep down inside, your soul is telling you that you need this. Let's get her done.
It's the closest we've ever been to officially the return of the Sonics. Don't forget that Shams Charania talked about this timeline, which is, okay, for the next several months here, they're going to listen to bidders trying to buy a team. Let's talk about that price tag.
Industry executives have been saying across not only in NBA circles, but in financial circles, that you're looking at anywhere between $7 to $10 billion range. So if it reaches in that plateau, you're looking at 2 top 8 to 10 revenue generating markets, and the appeal of those 2 markets, and also the collective bargaining that the NBA is under now, it's going to lead likely to a robust purchasing price for both teams. And so it's multiple steps. The first step will then give the NBA over the next several months the ability to go and get bids. And then by the end of the year, once they have an idea of exactly what the bids are, the final voting process to approve those 2 teams into the 32-team NBA.
Okay, so you kind of heard everything there. That the markets are very, very intriguing for NBA owners. These are going to be top 7 to 10 markets. This is going to be a market that's fetching per 7 to 10 billion per each of these teams. That's a lot of incoming money for these owners to split up. Previously, when it was thought, okay, why do we want to expand to a smaller market, that whatever, but that's not what Seattle's going to be. You also heard Sham say, yeah, they're eyeing an end-of-the-year approval vote. You'd need the same percentage of voters, 23 of 30 governors, but it's overwhelmingly favored.
They're trying to get it done, and there's an incentive for these owners to want to get this thing done. You mentioned the numbers already. If it's not profitable, these owners aren't going to want any piece of it. So whoever mustered up the PowerPoint to get these guys to buy in and lock into this whole thing, we appreciate you, because there is money to be made out there. I believe when it goes down, each owner will get like an extra $500 million or something like that. Yeah. That's the number that got them perked up and listening.
Chris Mannix, who joined us earlier this week, talked about the pros when it comes to expansion.
I mean, the pro is that we get the NBA in 2 great markets. Seattle and Las Vegas are ready to go, and I think they'll immediately become 2 of the better markets in the NBA. The fan base in Seattle is well established. I think we'll pick up right where they left off. And, Vegas, they haven't really missed when it comes to pro sports teams. The hockey team out there does well. The football team out there does well. I would imagine that when baseball gets out there in a smaller stadium, it's going to do pretty well. It's established itself as far more than a transitional city like in Atlanta or someplace like that. And I think they'll have good support there, and they'll make a lot of money there. So you get the league into 2 top markets.
And that's important, because I think one thing we've been hearing a ton this week is that the talent in the league will be diluted by adding 2 more teams, which you could make the case for. There are already too many teams tanking, which is a fact. And this is somehow making the league worse rather than relocating 2 teams. Expanding it by 2 is the worst option. And there are some people that truly believe that, other people, especially here in Seattle, that just frankly don't care. But I think it's important to hear Chris talk about the pros of expansion in terms of these are 2 prominent cities that not only like deserve these teams, but can really turn these teams around. Like this can, over a couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, become a deeply competitive team. You're not sending it to a failing market.
Yeah, and I think that there's more talent in the league than what the league is credit for, too.
You don't like the Draymond argument?
No, I think there are more Europeans who can play. I think there are more guys in the G League who can play. But what you do need, each team needs that star, though. If you don't have a star on your team, then the chance of you winning obviously go down. I think the problem is the league has to stop with these super teams, right? Guys just joining forces. And that's what's kind of watering down the league right now, is that you got too many guys clicked up. But that's just the culture of basketball and athletics right now, is that, when I was playing sports and before me, you wanted to beat that person. Now it's like, let's team up and let's just dominate, which is a different angle. But what it all comes down to, it comes down to winning. So I'm not going to knock this generation that much because this is just what they do and who they are. But, no, I think there's more talent in the league than the league gets credit for. But they got to be coached up, and you have to be developed. And if you look at the talent that's coming up through college basketball, too, I think it's the best now it's been in the past few seasons. So it's going to be rough when and if the Seahawks, Seattle does get a team. But I'm not buying that there's not enough talent.
Is there any way to de-incentivize teams from doing that? Obviously, you have your luxury tax, and like baseball has that too, but it doesn't really de-incentivize the Dodgers from adding a ton of talent. But is there a way to try to add more parity in regular season games in the NBA?
Well, Curtis came with the idea of the Supermax contracts, right, Curtis?
Yeah, that's kind of how the NBA will kind of curtail teams just spending like crazy, where you can only have like a certain number of Supermax guys on your team. And then the second apron, you can't go beyond that, or else you're going to enter significant luxury tax implications after that. So, we've heard from Chris Mannix and I think Bobby Marks, who was on with us too, where they both were saying you've never seen this kind of parity in the NBA before, which I think is good for any team that's entering the league, where it's like, okay, maybe it won't be as long of a build as we're kind of expecting it to be.
Yeah, I hope not. Again, though, I'm not going to look down my nose. This team could be bad for 10 years. It is what it is. I'll take the Sonics back in Seattle. But also, it's not going to. It's not going to be bad for 10 years.
No, it's not.
This is an ownership group that's going to want to deliver as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and there's reasons for free agents to want to come here as well. This is a great city. The facilities have been renewed. I wonder where they would put the team. Obviously, probably build something for them or whatnot. So, just you got to sell wanting to be a part of something, a rebrand, not a rebrand, but the second chapter at this whole thing, because Seattle puts out these basketball players via high school into college or whatnot. They put them in the league. This is a basketball state, whether you want to agree with it or not. Text lines, I get it, but there's lots of reasons for people to want to come here.
All right, we are going to take a quick break and come back and see if we can get an eye on Adam Silver's press conference.
Sure, it snowed like less than 2 weeks ago, but you could eat peanuts, Cracker Jacks, even fish and chips out of a souvenir ferry boat in any weather. Tomorrow, it's opening day for the Mariners.
Here at T-Mobile Park.
We're live from Soto all day with Bump and Stacy starting at 10. Then it's Wyman and Bob live from Hatback Bar and Grill starting at 2. Ahead of the Mariners and Guardians at 7:10. Listen wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Mariners fans, the 2026 season is officially on deck. And Cal, Julio, and the defending AL West champs are ready to feed off your energy at T-Mobile Park. Be here for every monster home run.
There it is, number 60. The magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Every 100-mile-per-hour heater.
He throws it and the ball game's over. Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Every clutch moment.
A bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
It's going to be an epic 50th season, and you won't want to miss it. Mariners baseball. Try to answer.
The Mariners' first homestand is almost here. Don't miss opening day tomorrow at 7:10. Cal Raleigh 60 home run bobblehead night Saturday at 6:40. Presented by Alaska Airlines. And next week's showdown against Aaron Judge and the Yankees. March 30th through April 1st. Get your tickets at mariners.com. Visit America's Car Museum now, where history roars to life. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see Shelby Cobras and GT40s in the birth of the American supercar. Cruise-ins, drive-ins, race simulators, fun for all ages. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org. Bracket busted? Don't worry, Madness Maniacs, you still have a shot at winning. Head to seattlesports.com/win to fill out your 16-team bracket. It's not too late to join in on the fun. It's the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. And the winner of the 16-team competition will win a $500 Visa gift card. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win. Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
The Mariners host the Guardians on opening day at T-Mobile Park tomorrow night.
First pitch at 7:10.
Right here on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hi, Sarah here with Safeway. We're proud to partner with Champions of Change co-founder Doug Baldwin to help nourish Washington students through the Nourishing Champions program.
Thanks, Sarah. And here's the reality. Every day, students across our state are staying after school for extracurriculars on empty stomachs, and some of them don't know where their next meal will come from. Food insecurity is reaching crisis levels, and the impact on our youth will extend far beyond this moment. The good news is that there's an answer in the federally funded after-school meals programs. But right now, Washington schools' participation is very low, reaching only 2% of the students who qualify.
That's where Nourishing Champions comes in. We're offering grants that not only fund food, but also resource and training support for the schools to offer an after-school meal program for years to come.
Our goal is to reach 10,000 more students in the first year of these grants and then grow from there. School staff can learn more and apply today at championsofchangefoundation.org and navigating to the Nourishing Champions tab. That's championsofchangefoundation.org and click on the Nourishing Champions tab.
Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at the spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth over $150,000. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. That's why I buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's a crucial part of my balanced strategy. Gives me peace of mind given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you too. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Text Dan to 989898. Again, text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we are waiting to see if Adam Silver is able to step up to the podium before Jackson Smith and Jigba's press conference at noon. We are sending you to JSN's presser in the noon hour, so hopefully we can get these guys back to back. If not, though, we'll send you over to JSN. We know a lot of you guys are eager to hear from him. We do have a couple questions from listeners when it comes to the NBA returning to Seattle. And again, we can't say oh, the Sonics are coming back. The NBA is returning, but this is the first step in an actual formal process. This is the bidding process right now, with teams widely expected, the Board of Governors to vote to accept the transaction at the end of this year. I mean, you heard Shams Charania last week. He fully expects that these teams are going to be playing in we got Adam Silver here.
So we just concluded 2 days of meetings with our Board of Governors. Bunch of issues were on the agenda. First and foremost, I think you all know at this point because we issued a release that the board voted to explore expansion in Las Vegas and Seattle. I'm excited about that opportunity. We've had discussions with elected officials, both in Las Vegas and Seattle and Nevada and the state of Washington. We have long histories in both of those markets, of course. We had a franchise in Seattle for over 40 years. We have a WNBA franchise in Seattle right now, and there's an enormous amount of passion for NBA basketball and WNBA basketball in that market in Las Vegas. Again, we have a WNBA team in Las Vegas, been there for several years now with great success. And I used to joke with both Mayors Goodman, Oscar and Carolyn, that it was as if we had a franchise in Las Vegas already with our summer league, given that we occupy that 2-week plus period in July. It's become a major place of operation for the league, and we've had multiple USA basketball training camps there as well. So I think two markets with deep basketball roots and deep connections to the NBA, and we're excited to begin that process. As we said in the press release, we are in the process of engaging an investment bank here in New York City called PJT. It's led by someone named Paul Taubman, who's been working with our league for decades. Actually was part of a process when we expanded to Canada roughly 30 years ago. So he's very familiar with the league, as is his organization. And as I said, I anticipate enormous interest in both those opportunities. Mark Tatum, our Chief Operating Officer and Deputy Commissioner, is here today, gave an update to our board on ongoing discussions in terms of creating a new league in Europe. There were no votes taken on that. It was more of an update. But I think, as many of you are aware, we are out in the market right now. We have different bankers working on that opportunity. JP Morgan and another organization known as RAIN, two investment bankers who are soliciting interest. There are 12 separate markets we're looking at the moment. Over 100 organizations are currently involved in this process. And as I said, once again, there been enormous enthusiasm. We have ongoing discussions with the existing basketball infrastructure in Europe, both through our federation, FIBA, through the various country leagues, and the Euro League. And again, think that basketball globally remains as number 2 sport, maybe fastest growing sport in the world. And it seems to be, whether on the men's side or the women's side, we see tremendous interest in continuing to grow the game. So I would say virtually everything we covered at the board meeting was very positive. One topic not so positive, and that's ongoing tanking issues in the league. We had a lengthy conversation about the issue. I will say, and again, as I've said this before, this is not a new issue in this league. You could go back to the 60s when coin tosses were used to determine who got the first pick, then into the 80s when a draft lottery was created. That lottery has been modified 4 times since then. Obviously, it does not seem to be operating optimally where we are now. This may be an unusual year because of a perception of such a deep draft. I'd say that's combined with the advent of advanced analytics in all the sports, that teams are now making sort of, calculations in terms of opportunities and risks and rewards. And I understand where that incentive takes our teams. This meeting was not about pointing fingers at any team in particular. Again, I understand where the incentives are. We understand why it results in certain behavior. And I will say seemed unanimous in the room that we needed to make a change, and we needed to make a change for next season. Exactly what that change is, we're continuing to work on. No votes were taken today. I think there's also unanimous agreement that we need to make this change in advance of the draft and free agency this year, so all the teams understand the rules of the road going into next year. That means we will most likely have a special board meeting in May, in which at that point we will vote on whatever modification we come up with. We've been hard at work on this issue for several months now. That's led by Byron Spruill and Evan Wash and James Jones in the league office. Of course, we have a competition committee. They've been working on that issue with us. We've been talking separately to our general managers. I do think ultimately this is a decision that needs to be made at the ownership level. It has business implications, it has basketball implications, it has integrity implications for the league. So it's one that we take very seriously. And we are going to fix it, full stop. And I want to say that directly to our fans. And I recognize, too, that it puts even fans in many cases in an odd position, because it's become lore that in many corners of the league that the worst place to be is a middle-of-the-road team. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think even teams that are trying hard to compete with the rosters they have, in many cases are being told by their fans that they're better off being bad or somehow manipulating the system to be worse than maybe they really are, and that puts enormous pressure on our teams. So, as I said, incentives need to be fixed, and we will fix them, and I'm looking forward to that. Lastly, there was a discussion around the WNBA. The NBA proper owns over 40% of the WNBA. Then when you take the various team interests that are WNBA team interests that are represented by NBA owners, probably close to 80% of the league of the WNBA is owned by NBA interests. So there's great interest in the league. People were extremely happy about the fact that the collective bargaining situation was resolved in time to save training camp and free agency and the season. We, of course, have 2 expansion teams joining us. We talked about how that process is going, the benefits to operating these 2 leagues in parallel, and that there are things that are done differently, things that are done collectively. But I think that what came out of the room was just, again, people were very pleased with where we came out on the WNBA side. And I've talked to many players directly and read the reports coming out of collective bargaining, and I'm really pleased that both sides feel that it's a fair outcome. I think that's very important when you go through a process like that. So, Tim, with that, happy to answer any questions.
We'll start in the 3rd row on the right. Tim?
Hi, Adam.
Hey, Tim.
Tim Reynolds with the AP. Good to see you, as always. On expansion, can you share if there was any concerns? You've talked about this, and it is a complicated thing, selling equity in the league. We all understand that. If there was any concern that any owners expressed, and to that end, I know it just happened, what's a logical timeline? You probably won't commit to one, I get that, but what are the logical next steps, and what's the hope as far as how long this part of the process might take?
Sure, Tim. There weren't concerns. I will say, in a way, we're in a good situation because there are some owners who felt that we just frankly don't need to expand. So they didn't necessarily see concern with going forward, but we felt we're in a very solid place with the 30-team league we have now. I think they're Seattle and Las Vegas, in terms of their history and support of NBA basketball, are unique in terms of available markets in the U.S. right now. No knock on any other markets. Those are just the markets we're focused on. So I think there was a discussion about, of course, dilution economically and dilution talent-wise. And I think there was a presentation by Paul Taubman and others at the league office about what the implications are by, if you're always a reminder when you expand, you're selling equity in the existing league. So, for example, if partners share in 1/30 of national television revenue or 1/30 of international opportunities, now if you expand by one team, it's 1/31 or 1/32 with 2 teams. So there's that straight economic analysis. There's also potential dilution of talent. I mean, if your goal as an NBA owner ultimately is to win a championship, no matter how well managed your team is, if there are two more teams out there, number one, you're presumably going to lose some talent to those teams, but also it's harder to compete to win a championship if there's 32 teams than if there's 30. So again, I wouldn't put that in the category of concern. It more went in the category of considerations. But it's also why, just to make that distinction, we didn't announce today we are expanding. We announced that we're exploring expanding. And part of exploring expanding means, I mean, one, of course, there's the economic implications of what's the value of that franchise. Those or franchises will ultimately be determined by the market, and then the league has to make an assessment whether it's then worth it to go forward at those valuations. But I think they care a lot about who their potential partner or partners might be, and then particular situations in each market, like what arena would we play in, or, you know, what are plans? Are people looking at other arenas? All those things are part of the consideration set. So the discussion today and in the meetings leading up today went more to, all right, what are all the factors that we'll look at? And then ultimately the view is you could explore expansion more softly by just having conversations, but certainly it was my view and others that we owe it to these markets to be transparent and to be more formal with our approach to that, so that everybody feels they have a fair shot. There's an investment banker, there's people at the league office working on this. And so if you are interested, and I'll say that now to people who may be listening or watching this, if you're interested, call the league office, call PJT Partners directly in New York. And just want to make sure everybody understands there's been no handshakes on the side, there's been no commitments, there's been no promises to anyone. This is a completely transparent process. Nothing is set in stone right now. You asked me another part of the question. What timeline?
All right, we are going to take a few more notes from Adam Silver's press conference, and then coming up next, we're going to send you to listen live to JSN.
The sounds of spring have already begun.
Mariners spring training, best week of our year.
But if you listen close enough, you can still hear echoes of last fall. And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. These guys raise the bar.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
You guys ready?
Tomorrow night, the Mariners host the Guardians on opening day at T-Mobile Park. Hear every pitch wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
For those diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or PTSD, Northwest Ketamine Clinics wants you to know hope is within reach. Here's Brandon, a recent patient.
Going to sleep was challenging. Getting my brain to turn off was challenging. Just kind of getting through every day was a bit challenging. Like everything was a little too hard, a little too much resistance, and that just kind of evaporated. After the first few sessions of ketamine, it was noticeable. People remarked on it pretty quickly. I had done maybe 2 sessions, 3 sessions, and people started going, what are you doing differently? You look awesome. You just look like your skin is healthier and you look happier. To anyone thinking about giving it a try, if you have depression, ADHD, bipolar, any of those things feel like they would vastly benefit from it. So go for it. That's what I say.
Welcome to the Pacific Northwest's most experienced ketamine center. Book a free phone or video consult at nwketamineclinics.com. Healing starts here.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
DayandNight.net.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
The countdown is on.
Just one more day until opening day. Tomorrow night against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park. First pitch at 7:10.
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners, KIRO AM Seattle. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
All right, breaking news earlier this morning. You already know what it is. The NBA Board of Governors has voted in favor to explore expansion to Vegas and Seattle. Put more simply, potential ownership groups can now officially start bidding on teams, a price point that's expected to fall between $7 and $10 billion. The process will take several months, presumably to the end of 2026, and then 23 of 30 governors must vote in favor to finalize the transaction.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. JSN scheduled to speak with reporters after signing that massive, record-breaking deal with Seattle. We will send you there. We've got cameras trained on him. Matt will interrupt us when JSN is speaking. It'll sound like this.
Another person's talking about a different thing.
Yes, exactly. In which case, we'll send you straight to Virginia Mason Athletic Center so you can hear from JSN himself. I'm sure that Mike and John will also be at that press conference. I wanted to quickly bump, and we'll interrupt ourselves here. Well, Matt will, but we'll be interrupted when JSN's talking, so we may have to cut this short. But I wanted to get to a few questions from the text line, a few questions from listeners when we were all listening to Adam Silver. And Curtis, I'll probably pull you in for this one as well. Did either of you hear Silver walking back expansion? I didn't, but maybe
he's telling you exactly where they are. We're making it open for people to start essentially bidding on these teams. It's nothing expansion isn't official yet, but this is the step towards expansion. I think that because he didn't come out and say that we're going to Seattle, we're going to Las Vegas, let's get it rolling, then people get a little hesitant, which I get. But no, this is just the process. This is part of the process. And now it's saying, okay, we're going to open things up for bidding.
Yeah, this is a two-part process. So I think maybe the NBA has been boy who cried wolf too many times, and now there's a real wolf, and we're like, okay, whatever, yeah, I don't care. But it's real, and it's important to at least recognize that. And I know that part of this is emotionally guarding yourself from feeling very let down and lied to by a league, and I've felt that way before. But I also think that, Curtis, correct me if I'm wrong, the actual vote to allow this bidding process is the closest they've ever come to actually expanding.
Yes. They haven't even really talked about expansion in the NBA in the, 24 years since they expanded to Charlotte when they added the Bobcats, who are now the Hornets. It's never gotten anywhere close to where they are now in this process.
Yeah. Someone said they just felt like he should have been more obvious, but they have not approved they have not approved the teams yet. So he can't be obvious. It's not his vote to make. It's the Board of Governors. He represents the owners in the Board of Governors. He has to be careful what he says. What you're hearing is someone who doesn't want to commit to two fan bases, one of whom is incredibly eager for the Sonics to return, who doesn't want to commit to those fan bases before two billionaire owners have stepped up and said, hey, I'll foot the bill, right? He can't do that until the vote is actually made. What he did say at this press conference, this is from Tim Booth, we need to know by the end of the calendar year what we're doing here. Meaning exactly what Shams said with us last week. This process of wanting to make sure that there's someone out there who can afford your $7 to $10 billion price tag is probably going to take a couple months. And these owners also want to know, hey, do you have a city in a market that can handle this and bring us money? They've already checked yes to those boxes. It's why they're looking at this for Seattle and Vegas. Do you have an arena you can play in that's going to bring money and look good in the league? Already checked yes for Seattle. Now, is there someone coming up here to buy this team? That's what they're still looking at, and they don't have the answer to that yet. We can all assume there's lots of people eager to buy a sports team, but because that answer isn't there, you can't say yes.
I'm sure there's some legal implications in this too. You can't come out there and say, yep, done dilly, and you haven't gone through the due process. So that's what commissioners do, man. They got to cover their rear ends. They got to make it as simple as possible and let you know exactly where they are in the process, or you're going to get fan bases who are all riled up and frustrated or whatnot. And I'm sure there's some legal implications in this too. You can't say something that is not true to get people all hyped up.
We also did just get breaking news. It's fitting because we're going to be transitioning to NFL talk here with JSN. Official start time and date. We already knew that this was happening for the regular season Wednesday. We all knew that. September 9th at 5:20. I love that. Still keep it Eastern at 5:20 p.m. So look at that. Wednesday night football. We already knew that. Seahawks opening up the season, and then the Rams and 49ers on Thursday. We had been talking about this for a while, kind of the logistics of that. So just kind of confirmation on that timing.
Well, it'll be interesting now who moves their schedule around to accommodate the Seahawks.
Exactly.
The Mariners and Sounders also are scheduled for games in Seattle on that Wednesday, September 9th.
Tells me that making the I understand it's incredibly inconvenient. I understand it's inconvenient to the Sounders, and I think there are a lot of Sounders fans that feel like they're pushed aside and they're going to be really offended by this. I also think that this is something that teams kind of do for each other once in a while. I am telling you, there are probably times out there when the Mariners returned to the Seahawks and said, hey, can you help us out with this thing? We didn't know we'd be playing this deep into October.
You know what I would say? Raise your hand if you won a championship lately. All right, raise your hand. You got priority now. There's no conversation.
Well,
Seahawks get it.
I think
is what it is.
Look, it's a bummer for the Seahawks to open the season on the road.
Hey, whatever.
Super Bowl champion, open the season on the road on a Wednesday night.
It shouldn't be that way, but you know what Mike McDonald's going to say? I don't care.
Yeah.
We're going to go play whenever, wherever they want us to play.
And look, the Sounders are incredibly successful. We get that. But it's the season opener for the Seattle Seahawks here in Seattle. Again, that was breaking news just a minute ago from Adam Schefter confirming that would be a 5:20 p.m. kickoff on Wednesday. He did not say in Seattle, but I think we're all assuming, well, you're hosting. You're the Super Bowl champion. Wednesday at 5:20 p.m. You'll be hosting a game here in Seattle. Also confirming again.
Go.
And we have JSN speaking with reporters now.
Jax, but when you go to ownership and you ask for an investment like this, you always have to be so cognizant of who the person is, and just so proud of Jackson, who he is as a person. Your parents did a great job raising you, man, and it's just so fun to, like, people forget how young you are, we could talk about the player, obviously great player. I mean, he scored 82 touchdowns in 42 games and 6'8", Texas, like best football arguably in the country. His head coach would argue that it was 84. They had 2 taken away from him. But just obviously a young foundational piece, offensive player of the year. But yeah, just we're super excited. Everybody in the building, we're all here for you, Jax. Have been from day one, and I know you're gonna be great moving forward. You're a great teammate, great person. The city of Seattle's got to be jacked that he's gonna be with us for a long time here, and so with that, just want to thank Jody for her support, Chuck Arnold, and Joey Lane for all those long hours on the phone with Joel Siegel, and Mike, you want to?
Yeah, I think one of the things that just paints a great picture about what Jax means to us, being a foundational piece of our football team and our organization, is just we got a full house here. This is pretty awesome. You got dang near the whole Seattle Seahawks organization sitting supporting Jax on this day. So just want to emphasize how excited we are. He's going to be here. He's a foundational piece. He's a cornerstone of our team. Just being able to see his growth over the 2 years that we've been here. And I mean, man, the sky's the limit. And also, like, this is the beginning. This is another iteration of our football team, and Jax is going to be obviously a huge part of it, and where we want to go and where we want to take our team. And I know it's early in his career, but he's already a leader on our team, and will be for a long time. So we're really excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, God is great. I'm just super blessed. Like John said, the whole organization from top to bottom it's a beautiful thing, where God puts you in place to succeed. And, this is home for me, and, for me to be extended, here for a few more years. I'm just excited and blessed, and I understand, where my feet are, and understand the opportunity that's at stake. And, just like always, ready to attack. Have to thank my family, my father, my mother, just how they raised me. I'm here to serve others, serve the Lord, and, whatever, these guys need from me, they know I'm willing to do. So, there's not enough words to show my excitement and show my love for the city and this organization, but, you'll see it on Sundays. So thank you.
Have you figured out how many cowboy hats you can buy with that contract?
We'll buy a few more, huh? Yeah, we'll buy a few more, just a few.
For John and for Jackson, this happened relatively quickly from what your norm is for this type of a deal. What do you attribute that to, and the no drama, and how seamless it seemed to be?
Yeah, you want me to
go? Yeah, I mean, it definitely just feels good. Like John said, ever since I got drafted, I just felt the love and, just really just understanding me. And it's an honor to feel that confidence come from your teammates and come from, the third floor and your head coach. And, for us to get this deal done, speaks volumes. Definitely just a little weight off my shoulders, and just to go out there and, let it fly.
Jackson, what does it mean? I mean, you're the highest paid receiver in the league and all that. What does that mean to you? Can I say those kinds of benchmarks?
For me, it's always more work to be done, and there's always another level to reach. And, but it is a blessing, this is a business, and, I want to do good business, and, that's where we're at right now.
So there's always another level to reach. Offensive Player of the Year, won a Super Bowl, highest paid receiver.
Yes.
What's next for you? How do you reach the next level?
the only thing better than 1 Super Bowl is 2. So, just working to get there, and whatever my team needs from me, I make sure I get it done.
Mike, you said that he's already become a leader. What are some of those traits you've seen? And then Jax, what unfolds now is your leadership potential?
Well, I think it's unique to see like that type of dominating performance on a consistent basis, but also the humility and like what Jax is saying, like his servant leadership that he provides to our team. He's not the guy that's breaking every huddle, everything, every team meeting and everything like that. But what he does every day, what type of teammate he is to the guys in the locker room. I mean, that speaks volumes, and that's where he does his talking.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think relationships is, a huge thing, and I think my teammates know, building relationship with them one-on-one, they can come to me and, we can talk about anything, just want to be there for my teammates, and, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
John, we see it a lot in the NFL where deals of this size, they often drag out and sometimes they get messy. This one seemed like it happened pretty quickly, and it didn't seem like it had any of that. What can you say about just the process of getting the deal done?
Yeah, I just give Joey Lane a ton of credit. We've had a great relationship with Jax's agent, Joel Siegel, for a long time. It's just we're able to just keep things in house, keep it respectful, and when you're on the higher end of these deals that are actually, I don't want to say they're easier, but it kind of like everybody kind of recognizes, Jack's talent and his work ethic, and like I said, the person, it's just the part, I remember being an intern in 1992, and we signed Reggie White. Was like he was the first biggest free agent in NFL history, and the Packers had $24 million in the bank, and they gave him 14, So, I got to, get with the times a little bit now, It's like, okay. And Joey Lane and Joey Schneider helped me out a ton with that.
John, you've historically invested in the receiver position over the years. DK and Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett count this deal. But when you look at the contracts that you guys have signed with Jackson and bringing back Rashid and Jake Bobo coming back, matching that offer, do you view receiver as a premium position? And what makes it so important to not just sign the stars, but the role players as well at that position?
Yeah, great question. We value people, not necessarily the position. So people, the competitor, how they fit into our organization, and it's our constant quest to be a consistent championship caliber football team. So we don't really get into position specifics. We just know that we want to be smart in the people and the competitor we're investing in.
Mike, you obviously coached Jax last year as well, but coming into whether it's training camp, OTAs, was there a point in practice that you recognize he's in for a really big year here?
Yes. It was pretty early. I mean, just to see, there's never just one play because of the constant growth that's required. But I thought our defense was playing at a high level throughout camp and throughout the offseason program, and we had a really hard time covering him. And to Jax's credit, his ability to not just stand in one place and only be able to do one thing, to be able to move him around, understand how to run the whole route tree, the chemistry that's required with Sam. That's a lot of work that takes, and you could see it, coming to life every day, and that was really exciting.
Your brother spent some more time helping you stuff off the field this year. What did that mean to you? How did that help you this season?
Yeah, it takes a village. My brother plays a big role in, getting stuff done and allowing me to, focus on things I want to focus on and build on things. And, he's my right-hand man. So, just getting started too, got a long ways to go on, the field and off the field. So, to have him is a blessing and something I don't take for granted.
Jackson, I know you probably have a long list, but what are a couple of traits your dad taught you?
Traits, really, first and foremost, hard work, just seeing him, anything that I wanted or, I saw him get up early for us to go get that and for us to have. And You know, he's been training, throwing footballs at me since I was 3 years old. So, I mean, you know, he is the reason, you know, I'm here today. You know, just the leader and, you know, how strong he is physically and mentally, you know, for us to live out our dreams. So, you know, definitely a lot of love for him, and, you know, don't take that for granted as well.
Jackson, you said this is home, and we've seen in these first few years how much you've done in this community, different charities, thing. What is it about, obviously, this organization, but the community around it that really, you know, endeared itself to you and made you want to be here for a while to come now?
Yeah, I think it's a special place and a place for, you know, growth. And, you know, me growing as a young man, I just fell in love with the city, and I want the best, you know, for my community, especially, you know, if I'm going to lay my head here. So, you know, anything I can do to help, you know, I will. And, you know, John just gave me some more opportunity to do so. So definitely appreciative of that in the city, and, you know, I can feel the love here. So just want to repay it back.
John, obviously a couple guys signed elsewhere, but in general, it seems like you've really made a priority of re-signing a lot of guys, kind of dating back to Charles in January and things like that. Just how important has that been this offseason, just retaining as many guys?
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Obviously, we want to keep as many guys as we possibly can. You know, it's however you look at it, fortunately or unfortunately, it's just part of the business. It's part of the job that we've all, you know, jumped into, and, you know, we're going to miss the guys that have left, and you know, we're going to dive in even more to the guys that are still on our team, and we had planned for this. You know, like I said, Joey Lane, you know, in our group upstairs. I mean, we've been, you know, as you approach free agency meetings, what that looks like, getting through the combine, speaking to everybody down there, seeing what the landscape's going to look like. But obviously, draft and retain. I mean, this is a great example of drafting and developing and keeping it in house, and that's you know, been our priority since we got here in 2010. So that hasn't changed. But yeah, the strategy of it is, you know, trying to extend our guys as much as we possibly can. We have a cool mix of, you know, guys that are just kind of hitting their first time free agency, and, you know, veterans that have been through free agency before, and it's just a really cool mix of like older and younger guys. So it's pretty neat.
Mike, how maybe unexpected or pleasantly surprised are you can bring most of this team, a Super Bowl champion, most of it's coming back for you to coach next year?
Well, it's great. We like John said, you want as many people as back as possible, but it was also, like John said, these are things that we're trying to plan for in advance. So, you know, it's gonna deviate a little bit based off just the nature of the business, but this is something definitely we were hoping for and planning for.
Talked before about what Cooper meant to you, then you guys re-signed Rashid, re-signed Bobo, just your position group. Yeah. I know you're close. Just how excited do you have that?
Man, excited to see the guys back. You know, we know how special we are, and, you know, what we contribute to the team, you know, each single one of us. So, and like John said, just great people, you know, love to work with them, respect them, you know, on and off the field. And, you know, we're excited to gear up and get ready for our second year together.
Mike, have you had a chance to chat with Brian Fleury yet, and where's your excitement with being able to work with the new coordinator this year?
Yeah, I said hello. Definitely excited. You know, definitely ready to see, you know, what we're gunning towards, and, you know, just get in the same language and get together. So I'm excited for, you know, new opportunities.
Mike, what are some things about Jackson as like a person and a competitor that you see all the time behind the scenes that maybe we don't see?
Careful with this one.
Careful.
I think it's a unique combination of the ability, the competitive spirit, but also like the selflessness of who he is and how he operates and how he goes about his business. It's a rare combination outside of like whatever position you say, just in life. I mean, just having the respect for the operation, the people, your teammates, the love that he has for the people around him, no matter their situation, but also being just an absolutely high-level competitor when it's coming down to it, and the ability. It's just like this triple-headed monster of just a really cool combination.
You love NFL history. I'm curious if you see parallels with the former great Seahawk and Steve Largent, and great route runner, great hands, person he was on and off the field, and what you got here in Jackson.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, I didn't write a report on Steve Largent or anything. Thanks, man. I get it, but getting up there in age. No, but it's a great question. I think, I think that there's like this cool, combination between, Steve with the body control, the hands, being able to just be able to adjust the ball like down the field, the late hands, all that. But also like Tyler and Doug too. I think there's a really neat. That's the second time I use the word neat. Like, where's that coming from? Just a really cool combination of just different talents. And I just remember we were so blessed like that he was there at 20. I remember being at the pro day that day, and we're like, there's no way we're gonna why are we meeting with this guy? Like what? And we're sitting there asking if he's gonna be can you feel punts? He's looking at us like, oh, pretty good receiver too, But no, great question. Thanks for it. The skill set is just really unique, and I'm excited to see where he's going to take this thing.
You mentioned that draft. I remember coming out of it, you talked about how fortunate you felt to be able to get Spoon and Jax, kind of the top guys at both those positions. What was that wait between 5 and 20 like, seeing him still out there?
Yeah, it took forever. I remember, I was probably driving Trent and Matt Berry and Nolan, those guys, probably driving those guys crazy. Like, do we go up? Should we go up? Should we go for him? Or, like, you get a little itchy, But we had just kind of studied, like, okay, well, where, like how, and when. And so, it felt like, it literally felt like, I don't know, 3 hours or something. So, changed my shirt a couple times.
Coming up at 12:45, Shannon Drayer has some key Mariners TV updates you're going to want to hear. And coming up next, Joe Flacco returns to the NFL. Plus, could Devin Witherspoon become the league's highest paid corner?
Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly.
Signed.
JSN is out there.
Sealed.
JSN has it. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Delivered.
Jackson Smith-Njigba signs a massive extension, 4 years, $168 million.
The NFL's highest paid wide receiver ever.
How about that?
Complete coverage at seattlesports.com.
Sam Darnold wouldn't have the season that he had if he didn't have JSN over there.
And the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
What's up, it's Bump, and when I see daylight savings time on the calendar, I think of one thing. It is finally golf season. And if you're like me, more daylight means more time on the links. I know a lot of you guys listening are counting down the work week until your tee time this weekend. I am doing the same. I have a course for you to try. It's Loomis Trails. It's in Blaine. It's a hidden gem, ranked top 15 in the state by Golf Digest. It's challenging, it's fun, and it's worth the trip. While you're there, make a weekend out of it and stay at Silver Reef Casino Resort. You can unwind in a deluxe room, grab a bite in one of their mini restaurants. I prefer the steakhouse or the cantina. There's wall-to-wall sports. You can watch every single basketball game in March and have a lot of fun doing it. You can even get a special Someone That Spa package. It's relaxing. It's fun. You should try it. Silver Reef Casino Resort. Head north on I-5, exit 260. I love it there. You're missing out if you've never been. If you have been, get down there this weekend. Book your stay at silverreefcasino.com. That's silverreefcasino.com.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and $250 free hair hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Visit America's Car Museum now, where history roars to life. If you loved Ford versus Ferrari, see Shelby Cobras and GT40s in the birth of the American supercar. Cruise-ins, drive-ins, race simulators, fun for all ages. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
DayandNight.net.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, Shannon Dreyer has some key Mariners TV updates you're going to want to hear. Right now, though, we'll take a look around the NFL, and we'll start with one NFL analyst getting a ton of flack. Dan Orlovsky's getting ripped for his critique of Fernando Mendoza's performance in the college football playoff.
Okay, so in the biggest games, so the college football playoffs started, and they played opening.
Well, you can start at the Big Ten championship, I guess. You can say Big Ten.
Okay, Big Ten championship. Okay, Big Ten championship. In that game, they're down 13-6 going into the fourth quarter. Indiana.
And then what?
Boom.
But we're talking about all the moments. You're talking about traits. It's like, okay, how about 2nd and 17?
6 points through the first 3 quarters. People.
Ohio State's defense is a historic defense. Like, what are we even talking about?
People crucified Arch Manning for doing that. On the road.
Crucified Arch Manning. Arch Manning's not a part of this conversation.
Well, if you go by that, too, like Indiana beat Alabama.
who has played way more games than Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson has 1 year being a starter. Fernando did it with Cal for a couple of years, then came over here with Indiana and did it. I understand, like, you look at Ty. Wild stuff sometimes, is what I think.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I don't like it when I say something and have an opinion and people are mean to me and I get really sensitive. I totally get it.
Disagree.
But then he'd post kind of like passive aggressive. Did you guys see the like it's free to be kind or like kindness is free thing that he posted?
You told me about it. I didn't see it.
Dan.
Don't play the victim.
That's
now.
what a 16-year-old posts when she's had a horrible day at school and is trying to be passive aggressive with her friend group.
Yes.
Because she had the dissenting opinion.
We're the friend group, and Dan's being passive-aggressive with us, trying to let us know, like, you guys are being mean. And it's like, Dan, this was a spicy take. You came out and said Fernando Mendoza's play falls short in big games.
Orlovsky's like, I have a new take. If anyone cares.
Seriously. It's okay, Dan.
Shut up.
It's okay. Curtis, not a fan.
How about you step out of the end zone again, Dan Orlovsky?
Oh, God. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler joined Wyman and Bob on Tuesday and said to expect that Devin Witherspoon will eventually become the highest-paid corner in the NFL.
It will be a high number. Yeah, he might have to be the highest-paid corner, but I think you can justify it because all that he does. You know, he's a tone setter, locker room guy, terrific player inside, a lot of different things. Kind of epitomizes what Mike McDonald wants out of his defense. So because of all those factors, there's certainly a deal to be done that's high money. It's just, you know, if he's asking for a lot more than Trent McDuffie, for example, you know, McDuffie's probably been a slightly better player over the body of work than Witherspoon is. Even though Witherspoon's elite, you know, there are tiers to this. And you could argue they're probably in the same tier now. But for like a year ago, it's probably a little different. McDuffie was probably rated a little higher. So, you know, it just depends on what you're asking for. You know, if you're trying to blow the market out of the water and get $35 million a year, it's going to be tough for Seattle to do that. But I think there'll be a sweet spot they could find.
Well, making him the highest paid corner is about $31.5 million per year, $32 million per year.
Yeah. And look,